So next week there's a show.
Thanks. What was that, John?
No, I'll talk to you later. Sorry.
All right. Well, we are ready to go once again for more Thoroughbred coverage live on Proline TV. After taking the last few weeks off, we have more dates that we will be taking off, and we'll let you know more about that. This is the best time of year to do that, but we're back here for another show with Jon Hardoon. How's it going, John?
Good, Greg. How are you?
Good. So it's been a few weeks. Matter of fact, I'm not sure in the close to 15 years since we've been doing this together, if you can believe it.
The longest time we've been off the air.
I think so. And I think we're going to break that record next month. So, but again, this is the best way to make sure that we're all ready to go for the biggest races of the season. And there are a lot of seasons during the year. And we want to make sure that we give you the best coverage during those races. Those are the ones you really want us to be ready and prepared for. So that's why we do this. All right. So anything going on in the last few weeks that I missed in the industry? Anything going on?
Not really. Same old.
Same old BS.
Gulfstream Championship starts this weekend, their meet. So that's something different. Del Mar closes this weekend. So the next time there'll be major racing in Southern California will be the day after Christmas when Santa Anita reopens. So I think they go to maybe Los Al for a couple of weeks before that. But Del Mar's closing day Sunday. So.
Yeah, let's see. We are off next week. We return. Let's see. Actually, we're back on next week. Yeah, I'm just taking the dates are all screwed up because we're doing a Friday show. A Friday race. But yeah, we're back on next week, and when we return next week, we do the Saturday Aqueduct races, including the Cigar Mile. So that's good. Then we take a week off, come back for Gulfstream, 3 Gulfstream grade 3s, it looks like. And then that's when we go off for about a month. We return in late January for the big day at Gulfstream. That's the Pegasus World Cup day.
Pegasus? Okay, good.
Yep. And then the Holy Bull is the week after that. And then we're on just about every week. So, so there you go. That'll be our biggest break. We want to remind everybody, just take a look at the links in the description of this video for special things, including our YouTube membership for the channel. That is not for horse racing specifically, but that's just for the channel. That doesn't mean that we won't include some bonus races, some bonus picks from John down the road. I'm sure we'll be interested in doing that. But if you want some picks, football picks, basketball picks, all sorts of picks from Jim Feist, Mark Lawrence, and more, check out the link in the description. Just hit the join button. Okay, so we've got the 10th and 11th on Friday. And there were 2 days of graded stakes race action at Churchill this weekend. And we decided to go with the Friday card. So that, of course, is in a couple days, the day after Thanksgiving. And the highlight race is going to be the Clark Stakes. That's the second race we're going to get to. That's race 11. Some really good horses in that one. And then we start with race number 10. And this is the Miss Revere. It's a grade 2. And it's a $300,000 purse, fillies, 3-year-olds. And there are some horses in here we've talked about before, including, I believe, the odds-on favorite, morning line favorite, the number 1 horse, Lush Lips, at 7-5. Didn't we take her in that win last time out?
We gave her out last time she ran when she won in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. I think she paid $18 or something, but we did give her out.
There you go. All right. So that is what's going to kick things off here. So let's go ahead and get to it with Lush Lips. Don't forget, if you're watching us live, any questions, comments, anything at all, you can let us know what's on your mind, or same thing on demand. Okay. Lush Lips, John Gaffalione, Brendan Walsh, one of 2 Brendan Walsh trained horses in the field. They paid a lot of money for this horse, and she really has developed nicely. I mean, her sheet line is really, really strong. Just basically, just incrementally getting better, usually by 1 point most of the time. And of course, culminating with that huge win last time out at Keeneland, which was last month and a half ago, a couple of 10s in her last 2 starts.
Well, she's never done anything wrong. She's a 3-year-old filly who has 10 career starts. This year, every race is better than the previous one. And Brendan Walsh does a terrific job by this horse. He gives her time between races, and obviously she runs really well when he does that. And that's the situation. She's coming into the race with plenty of time, and she has the advantage of breaking from the inside as well. So I think she's going to be very tough to beat. The way that I'm tackling is the races, I am putting her on top, but I'm using 3 price horses underneath, like we did, I think, in one of those Breeders' Cup races where we turned a 1-5 shot into a 10-1 shot. Well, we're going to try to do the same thing here. This horse won't be 1-5, but she will be the favorite.
One of those long shots could be the 2. And that's Fast Market. She's 10-1, and just taking a look at her line, she has really not done anything wrong either. So she's made some bigger jumps, but she's gone from a 19 to an 11 in the turf races without taking a step backwards. In her last 2 races, she's gone 12 and 11. Matter of fact, her last race was a 1.1 miles and a grade 3 win. The only thing I do notice here, John, that's interesting, and I guess we'll talk more about this later on in this race, is that Pratt was on board in this win, and he's not going to be on board in this race. But you are getting 10-1 with Fast Market.
Pratt wasn't on this horse. No,
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. Samuel Marin rode this horse last time.
Yeah, it says Pratt right here.
According to my racing form, it says.
Really? Wow, yeah. That's weird. I've got Pratt, Marin.
No, Marin is on the horse last week, and he's re-riding the horse this week.
Wow, that's weird.
Marin.
So I guess we got 2. So they've made a mistake somewhere.
Well, so it doesn't matter anyway. Pratt's probably.
Well, I just thought that would have been interesting of why he would have left his horse if he was on it and won with the horse. So yeah, that's weird.
Well, I know Samuel Marin rode him last time. He didn't win last time. He finished second. Are you looking at the right horse?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got the last race was in November.
No, October 18th. Oh, so they have a race that's not even in the form. Look at that.
Actually, they have a race from 5 days ago.
Okay, so my form has October 18th.
Yeah, that was the second race, the 12.
Okay, but the sheets have it right. The sheets have that race where she ran the 11.
11, yeah. And that was only 5 days ago. I'm just noticing that right now. Yeah.
So that's the problem I have with this horse. She's coming back off of a very short layoff. Listen, the reason I'm using her is because she ran very well last time out, and she's 10-1.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm using her.
All right. The 3, Table Flirt. Now, Table Flirt also coming off a win at a 1.1 miles. The difference, and at Churchill, a couple of differences. She only ran a 13, and she was on Lasix.
Yeah, well, but she looks a little slow. A 13 is not going to get it done for you here. So.
The 4 is Classic Q. This is a 3-1 shot. So this is one of the top contenders with Ortiz on board. Slow start so far for Mark Cassie.
Yeah, he's 1 for 24 at the meet, surprisingly so. Usually they do a lot better, but I don't want this horse as the favorite. She's no better than the rest of the field. She's a toss.
Yeah, the thing I noticed here about her was that she's got that 8, yet that was on Lasix. She's got a win with an 8, which obviously sticks out. And then the only good thing, and look, she's never won a graded stakes race. She did come close in that grade 3 race at Saratoga in July when she ran a 10. She lost by a neck. But other than that, yeah, she's at 3-1. Her last 2 races are a 12 and a 13. I mean, there's just no value there at all. So, yeah. All right, the 5 is C2 Sky, and Sherry DeVoe, who's off to another nice start. Training this horse. Unfortunately, this horse looks just a little bit slow.
Well, she's 30-1, and rightfully so. I don't like that horse.
The 16, the 6, the same thing there. 30-1 shot, coming off a couple of 14s.
Exactly.
Yeah, she had a good go of it last August till about June of this year, where she was getting better, and then all of a sudden she even threw in a 12 in September, but. Yeah, she's kind of gone back the other way again. Okay. The 7 is Bracelet, a 10-1 shot. You got Brad Cox and Ortiz combo getting 10-1 The only thing is both of her wins were on Lasix. She's coming off a 12 in her only race on turf, which was at Keeneland in October at 1 mile and a 16th.
Yeah, well, last time was the first time she tried turf, and she ran well. She won. But like you said, she's coming off of Lasix. But I'm using her because she ran once on the grass, and she's 10-1, and you're getting Irad Ortiz for Cox. So nothing wrong with that idea.
No, not at all. We've said that countless times. You get bargains with those trainers and riders, and sometimes it pays off for you. All right, next up is the 8. Something about her and Brendan Walsh, the second horse in the field here. Look, you are getting 8-1. It's a little bit better than that. I don't know. I mean, she's got back-to-back 12. She ran a 10 in July. I feel like I went a little bit more than 8-1, but what do you think about this horse?
She's okay. I mean, she had trouble in her last race. You see the T on the sheets, which indicates that she did have some trouble. So she's never really run worse than a 12 on the grass this year. She ran 10, 12, 12 in her last 3 races. I would want longer than 8-1. If you're using the favorite, you got to shop for some prices underneath. This is the other Brendan Walsh horse in the race, so maybe she will be ignored.
All right. The 9 in the stars is a 15-1 long shot. Does she qualify for pairs?
Yeah, she really does. Yep.
All right. She's coming off back-to-back 12s. Now, she's never been off of Lasix since her first maiden race. So that's one thing. But again, you're getting 15-1. Luis Saez on board. She's got the pairs. Not the worst idea in the world for an exacta kind of deal.
No, not at all. This was the third horse I was using underneath.
All right. And then you've got Pretty Picture. So this is what I was meaning when I was, wait a second, Pratt just won on horse.
Well, Pratt's going to ride for Chad Brown before he rides for anybody. And Pratt, that's why he opted for that horse.
Yeah. And sort of like, I mean, we just talked about Cox and Ortiz. The difference is because both horses are 10-1. Both horses have really good trainers with really good jocks. The difference is, at least with the 7, you're coming off a 12. The 10 coming off a 14.
Correct. By the way, the reason that he may have gotten off the 2 is because, like you said, the 2 ran 5 days ago. He may not have even known that this horse was going to be entered back. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But again, he's going to ride for Chad Brown first call.
Yeah. Especially, what was that trainer there? John Terranova? Okay. Yeah. All right. The 11 is another long shot at 20-1, Caviar Breakfast. The good thing about Caviar Breakfast before she bounced in her last race was that she was improving in just about all of her races. She got stuck with some 16s, but then she ran that 13 in October, and you figured, all right, well, maybe something's going on. Unfortunately, she did bounce to the 16 last time out, and she's also never raced off of Lasix.
And she's never run better than a 13 in her life, and we're betting horses that have 10s. So
yeah.
That's a problem.
And the 12 looks quite a bit slow.
Yes, sir. No shit.
All
right. So I'm putting the 1 Lush Lips in exactas over the 2 Fast Market, the 7 Bracelet, and the 9 in the stars. 1 over 2, 7, 9 in exactas for today's 10th race.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say. So that's about where I would go as well. So there you go. All right. So see, we've been away for a few weeks, and
didn't miss a beat.
We're right there. All right. So next up, let's go with the race number 11. This is the big race because if you take a look at the horses here, really nice collection of horses for a race like this on a Friday. Grade 2 Clark Stakes, and this is a $600,000 purse, so double the Grade 2 race that we just talked about. This is for 3-year-olds and up. Should go off close to 6 on Friday, 1 mile and an 1/8. And we have the morning line favorite being the 3-1 shot, and that is the 3 Hit Show, and that is the Brad Cox trained horse. So a lot of horses in here that we've talked about in some big races this year. So let's get right to it, starting with the 1 Cook Creek. You got Michael Maker. He's got a couple of horses in this race. This horse was 6th in this race last year. He hadn't won coming into his last race. Let's see, he had a couple of wins late last year, running 7-9-9. But then early this year, he starts off 13, 19, and 12. And then, so out of nowhere, he comes back in his last race with a 7, going wire to wire in his win at Del Mar.
Well, he's at Delaware, not
Oh,
Delmar.
Delaware. Okay.
Yeah. The problem with this horse is he likes moisture in the track. The 2 9s that he ran last year, both on sloppy tracks. The 7 he ran last time out, sloppy track. Well, the track's not going to be sloppy on Friday. I don't like this horse in this spot.
Yeah, the only good thing about the horse is he's 12-1.
Okay.
Okay. Next up is First Mission, a 5-1 shot. You got Cox, one of 2 horses back to back here. This is another Pratt Cox combo, couple of grade 2 wins in his career, and he's coming off a 10. But before that, this year he starts off with 7 and 3 6s in a row. Not bad for First Mission.
No, this is going to be my top selection. First of all, he's 5-1, and you're going to see a lot of horses in this race could run between a 6 and an 8. He's one of them, but it's first time Pratt, or I should say Pratt re-rides. He rode him 4 starts back when he won on him, and now he's reunited with him. You're getting 5-1. So, yeah, it's a no-brainer to me. He's going to run the 6, and I think a 6 is going to win. He's going to be inside and saving ground, so I think that's a big plus for him.
And again, it's one of those things where, because this happens just way too much when we do the shows, is we sit there, we go, oh yeah, First Mission, 5-1, that's great. And then, we put, at least me, because you're like glued to these races all the time. And I pop on the race a little bit before to see the odds, and you see it's like 2-1 or something. It's like, come on, man.
Exactly.
But that's the thing you got to deal with. I have noticed, I think on one of my sports books, that they do have, and again, I think it's mostly for the bigger races where you can take the odds from the morning line. So that's good to know. So, so there are sports, but again, I think they do that for the bigger races. I don't think they'll do that for all the races, but maybe that's something that they're going to start doing more often. I mean, is it better for the sportsbook to do that, or is it worse for the sportsbook to do that?
To book the bets and
to freeze the odds.
Right. You're getting, well, the problem is that, first of all, they limit you. They have it at Monmouth Park in Jersey, and I've been there a few times, and you get the odds that you bet it at. The problem is they don't let you bet more than usually like $100 or something.
Okay.
And once you start to beat them, they chase you like most other bookies.
Okay.
They tell you go put it in the windows. I mean, that's what I've seen. So.
All right. So here's the morning line favorite, Hit Show. Cox, once again, with a Red Ortiz Jr. at 3-1. And the thing with Hit Show, though, inconsistent this year. And that's a bad thing because if you look at it, we've got single-digit, double-digit sheets every other race this year. And he's coming off a single-digit number. So if he keeps this pace up, this trend up, that means we're going to get a double-digit number. I know it's a crazy way sometimes to handicap races, but it does work.
It's not a crazy way. He has an alternating line. He never puts 2 good races together, and it shows you this year as he got older.
This year, yeah.
Last year he put 8s together. I get it, and a 6. But this year, like you said, every other race is a good race. Starts off the year with the 8 when he wins, bounces to the 11. Right away rebounds to the 5. Bounces to the 10. Right away rebounds to the 4, bounces to the 10. Well, now he's off his 6. So, chances are, according to his history this year, he's not going to put 2 good races together, and he figures to react. You can see it in the form. Win 4th, win 5th, win 3rd, win 3rd.
Yeah. And that doesn't happen a lot. Well, sometimes you'll get good or bounced sheet numbers, and they'll still win.
Exactly.
This horse, it's both. They're both sinking, and that could be a negative in the race on Friday for Hit Show. All right, so there you go. Let's now move on to the 4, which is Gosger. And boy, here's a horse that you just got to feel is chomping at the bit to get a win. He hasn't won since the Lexington. And everything looked good, too, because he comes into the Preakness, loses to journalism, comes into the Haskell, loses to journalism. None of that is bad. Matter of fact, he was gaining with his sheet numbers as well, 15, 11, 7, then the 4 at the Haskell. Then he bounced to a 10 in the Pennsylvania Derby, does not have a good race there, but then comes back with a 7 in his last race, finishing 3rd. Even though he was the favorite, he was the really short, close to 2-1 favorite in that last race. He's not potentially the favorite here at 4-1. But what do you think about Gosker?
The problem I have with Gosker and other 3-year-olds in the race, these are 3-year-olds running against older horses. So all these big races this year, the Pacific Classic, the Breeders' Cup, all of these races, the older horses continue beating the younger horses. Usually by this time in the year, the 3-year-olds catch up, but that hasn't been the situation. So for that reason, I don't like them. Again, none of these 3-year-olds beat the 4-year-olds. None of them. You saw journalism in the Classic. You saw all of it. Even the Pacific Classic fierceness beat also journalism that day. So I'm staying away from the 3-year-olds, and especially due to the fact that they're going to take money. The interesting thing about this horse is that they do put blinkers on today for the first time. So that may make a little bit of a difference. I don't know. Brendan Walsh, again, he's been on fire. If you want to use him, you could use him. And the problem is I don't think the 2 is really going to be 5-1. I think he's going to be a shorter price.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Okay. The 5 could be a nice value play. Matter of fact, I'm definitely going to play Chunk of Gold at 10-1 because you're getting 10-1 on a horse that is really getting better now. Every time out over his last 5 starts, he has improved from a 16 down to a 7. Let's keep in mind too, earlier in the year, he did have a couple of 12s, but in his last several starts, he's got a 9 and a 7, and he's got 2 wins in his last 3 races. And like I said, in those races, he was 2-1, even money. In that range. Now you're getting 10-1 in a bigger race with bigger horses. I get that, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this horse is if you look back to the start of this year when he ran the 15, throw out the race, his 3rd start of the year. And where was that? That only happened to have been the Kentucky Derby, where he ran the 16 at Churchill with trouble on the slop.
Yes.
So if you throw that race out, which you certainly could do, it was a mile and a quarter, and it was a sloppy track. So can't you read it 12, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7?
Absolutely.
He's not doing anything wrong.
No.
So for that reason, he's absolutely live here.
Who is Ethan West?
He's a trainer from Kentucky. He does okay. He has, limited starters. He's not a big outfit, but he is what he is, and he's got a good horse here. The horse earned $835,000. He's got 9 lifetime starts, 3 wins, 5 seconds. So he's only been off the board once. He shows up every time he runs.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't win, he is a good potential play there for getting in second and making a decent exacta payoff. So, exactly. All right. The 6 is Rattle and Roll. This is the defending champ of the race. Unfortunately, after winning the Clark Stakes last year, he started the year with a nice win following that overseas. But then
he was in Dubai and Medan, he was in Saudi Arabia, all those races. The thing about this horse is he's now, coming back off of the 7. He's now 6 years old. Last year, he only had 2 races. This year, he only has 4 races. I would treat the 7 that he ran last time as a big effort. And the edge in this race is throwing this horse out, in my opinion.
Yeah, and interesting too is that, just taking a look here, this horse for the last 6, 7, 8 races has also been kind of up and down.
Right. So that's the whole point. Time for him to be down. He doesn't put races together. And he's going to be one of the favorites.
Yes. Yeah. The 7 is Houday, a 30-1 shot without a graded stakes win, but has 4 wins in his last 5 races. And the numbers are actually pretty good coming in. He's only run 3 times this year, a 13 in May, then a 9 in September, and a 7 in October. And look, we understand that he wasn't racing in the best of company, but you are getting 30-1. Any chances you think that this horse might be able to hit the board either 3rd or 2nd?
Absolutely. You should use him in your tries and supers. I didn't include him in my exactas because I was using 3 horses underneath. I don't like to go 4 deep. But when I'm playing the race for personal money, I will absolutely include this horse somewhere. He's just too big a price, and he's got number power.
All right. That is Houday, the 7 horse. Machado on board. Thomas Drury training the horse. Let's now move on to the 8, and that's Willie D's. This is the second maker horse, and Willie D's is a 12-1 shot with Gaffleone on board. Looks like it's the first time at least in a while that he's been on board. He ran a 4 in July, and really, if you take a look at his numbers this year, starting in March through August, all single digits from a 9 to a 4. He did have a bad race his last start. Whatever happened, who knows? He ran a 16, whatever. I guess what could have happened, is it possible, and she's only 4 years old, but is it possible that the 4 might have hurt her a little bit, because in her last 2 races, she's gone the opposite way?
That's the way I read it. Because he had plenty of time from the 4 to the 8. Yeah, he figured to bounce off the 4 no matter how much time he had off. The problem with this horse is the 16 that he ran last time. It is by far the worst race he's run in a long, long time, And you're right. I think it was the 4 that he ran 3 starts back that's still taking its toll.
And then the last horse is Magnitude, and this is the 9-2 shot. You got Asmussen and Jose Ortiz. Of course, has a grade 2 win, the Risen Star, at this distance at the fairgrounds, running a 6. Matter of fact, this horse has 3 6s in his last 4 races, plus you're getting 9-2, and 2 6s happen to be in both of his mile and 1/8 races. So what about Magnitude, the 9?
And he also is reunited with Jose Ortiz. He's fine, but again, this is a case of those 3-year-olds running against older horses. He was in the Derby Trail and all the rest. He ran in the Travers 2 starts back. He finished second last time out in the Pennsylvania Derby to Baeza. He's okay. The problem the thing that's going to hurt him is the outside post. But he does have Jose Ortiz, and I think he's going to get bet, because he never really goes off much of a price. But it is what it is. So yeah. I like the 2 first mission. Exact is with the 4 Gosker, the 5 Chunk of Gold, and the 9, I guess, Magnitude. Yeah.
4, 5, and 9.
2 over 4, 5, and 9.
Okay. I'll take the 9. I'll take Magnitude. I'll take the 2 underneath, along with the 5 Chunk of Gold and the 7 Houday.
9 over 257.
9 over 257. John's got 2 over 459. Again, we are not. Let me knock this out of there. We are not going to be. We are. I keep screwing that up. We are going to be back next week when we talk about Aqueduct, 4 graded stakes races on the card on a Saturday, December the 6th. So I want to.
First of all, I'd like to wish all the listeners a very happy Thanksgiving, which we will be celebrating tomorrow. No New York racing or California racing on Thanksgiving. That's unusual. Naira used to always run on Thanksgiving with an early post, but that's not the case this year. So happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners, and we'll be back next week, Greg.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. I'll wrap up with some more promotional messages to our viewers, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Stay safe and be well, everybody.
Thanks, John. All right. So one of the things I want to do is, as I said in the open, we talked about if you hit the join button, you can get some membership opportunities here on the channel. We just put this up since the last time we spoke to you with our last horse racing show. That's the reason why I wanted to put this together and at least just give you an idea of what it looks like from your point of view. So let me go ahead and do that, because it's a very simple thing. And if most of you watching us right now or listening to us have been part of our YouTube memberships before just for horse racing, then you already know the deal. But if you are new and you have not been associated with our YouTube membership, I'm going to show you just quickly how it's done. So see here. So this is this is my account. So not my Proline account. And all you got to do is see, this is right now the live show going on, and you can just hit this button here. So this is the home page. You hit the join button, and there you go. So you've got Mark's plays, you've got Jim's plays, and you also have the capper bundle, which basically means you get them all. You get everything and more. And all you got to do is check out each tier to find out what's in there and what these perks are about. So there you go. Just click that up. You get a little definition of what it's all about. And the bottom line is, if you want to find out about Mark's plays every week, you just go to Mark's Executive Plays. If you want to do gyms, and by the way, if you do gyms, you get also Mark's. Okay, so for $49.99, you get gyms and Mark's. And gyms is a little more expensive because Jim has more handicapping to do. So Jim will be doing more like basketball now. I don't think Mark will be doing basketball until January. So that's the reason why he's a little bit more expensive. And again, if you go all the way to the bundle here, it shows you what you get, including a discounted merchandise and much more. So check it all out here. Again, you just hit the join button. You can also, for instance, if let's say you're just going to a particular, let's just hit this show here. Okay, here's the join button right here. It's right below. You just click that. It's the same page. Okay, very simple and very inexpensive. And so anyway, hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. I am going to be back at 7 o'clock Eastern for my weekly football show. So I'm going to talk about some big games coming up in the NFL and college football, starting, of course, tomorrow on Thanksgiving. We're going to go over all of that starting at 7. That's later on tonight here on Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve. And then we return on Friday, of course, with more programming. Matter of fact, we'll have the Penn State pregame show. That'll be sometime in the afternoon, I believe, on Friday. And I think it's going to be before we do our weekly Playbook ATS show. Normally on Thursday, we're going to be doing it on Friday at 4:30 Eastern. That's with Mark Lawrence, Jim Feist, myself, and Andy Isco. And then we're going to talk about NFL college football. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week. And then the college football season, the regular season is officially over, except for Army and Navy, but that's a couple weeks down the road. Championship week comes the very next week, and there's still going to be a lot of big talk and analysis and picks and all that for those big games. And then everybody gets ready for the college football playoffs. And then within that couple more weeks, then we're getting really close to the end of the season in the NFL. And of course, we're going to be here even when we turn the page on the season and get into, say, the 2026 calendar year. That's NFL playoffs. I still think we're doing college football playoffs at the time. We'll get really into college basketball. We kind of wait, at least on this channel, before the NFL and the college football season dies down, before we dive into college basketball full time. And then we'll ride that all the way to March Madness. And we'll have other sports to talk about, including the NBA, the NHL, golf, of course, kicks things off also in January once again. And the NFL draft and free agency. That's a big deal in the offseason, and I'll be really, really busy next year doing that. I'm probably more busy doing that than I am handicapping games and going over that sort of stuff because that stuff is like all week long, interviews with team analysts in the NFL, and especially in the NFL as opposed to college. College, I probably don't get it too much into, except, hey, I really need to know what your opinion is on certain players that are going to be available for the draft. But for the most part, most of the interviews will be with our 32 NFL analysts that'll come on and give their take on what they think free agency is going to look like, the draft, depth charts, all that kind of stuff. So I always look forward to that, of course, being a Jet fan, because that's the only time of season I can have any fun. So that's going to wrap it up here for Jon Hardoon. We will see you next week, probably back on Thursday. And once again, to recap the picks for race number 10, John goes with the 1 over 279, and I concurred. And then in race 11, John went with the 2 over the 4, the 5, and the 9, and went with the 9 over the 2, the 5, and the 7. So for Jon Hardoon, I'm Greg DePalma. Have a great day tomorrow with your friends and family, and we'll see everybody again here next week.